The Golden Flashes of Kent State, Doug Martin, 4-8 last year, 15 returning starters, led by diminutive Eugene Jarvis is going to lead the way at tailback, and Giorgio Morgan. But the thing is, they returned 4 returning offensive linemen with starting experience.
But the thing about it, they lose their top runner, their top quarterback. They also have question marks at receiver, you know, and a lot of starters lost off that offensive line. So the one good thing they have is, you know, Eugene Jarvis, 800 touchdowns, 800 yards last season, 9 touchdowns. But everywhere else on offense, there's a question mark, and I'm worried about that offense. But keep an eye on true freshman wide receiver Jeff Walker, 6'5", 220. So he should be a big talent for those guys out there in Ohio.
Nose tackle Sam Frist needs to be disruptive on the defensive line. Buck linebacker Kevin Hogan and free safety Brian Lanehart was first-team All-MAC.
Brian Lanehart is a fearless defender, 6 interceptions, 106 tackles. Their run defense is shaky. So if you want to beat Kent, you run the ball on them constantly, and it's going to break. But that's the thing about their defense that I have questions about. I like the linebacker, Kevin Hogan, a playmaker, 5 sacks last season. So they do have some talent on defense, but 31 points a game. In order to get to the upper echelon of this division within the MAC, they have to improve that, and they have to play more consistent ball on defense.
They open up at Chestnut Hill versus Boston College. They host Iowa State, and they're at Baylor, a brutal out-of-conference game.
Oh, that's brutal. The Baylor game, I don't even want to see that game. It's going to be brutal down there.
Robert Griffin might have 800 yards in that game. Miami of Ohio, their problem has been offense the last couple of years, have averaged 19 points or less the last 3. Mike Haywood, former Notre Dame offensive coordinator, and he also has ties to LSU. He's in the first year. He takes over a 2-10 squad with 12 returning starters. Thomas Merriweather, their running back, and Don Rodaball, their quarterback.
One thing about Miami of Ohio and Mike Haywood, he knows how to coach up the running game. So they have a big offensive line. The problem with that, they don't know how to. They have to improve their run blocking. They can pass block, but Haywood is going to get that run game going. They're going to have to rely heavily on that. They have some talent at receiver, but they just have to find a quarterback. I do like Merriweather. This guy is an awesome player, but they have to find a quarterback, and they have to improve their run blocking.
Question mark for the Red Hawks, and them in the first year, only 5 returning on defense.
I mean, wow, 33 points a game. That you can't win in any level with that. 5.5 yards a carry, 62% completion percentage. You look at, they're going to start a middle linebacker, true freshman middle linebacker, so that's going to be rough. But Jeff Thompson, the cornerback, I like him. He's a pretty good player. He's the leader in that secondary, but they have to improve their defense. A lot of questions in Miami.
Free safety Jordan Gafford, back from an injury, which will help that secondary also. At a conference, they host Kentucky and Cincinnati, and they're at Boise and at Northwestern.
Oh, if they can get the running game going, they're going to keep themselves in a lot of games. But I don't think it's going to be a good year. Tough first year for Mike Haywood.
And now for the Mid-American Conference preseason picks presented by the Czar and Team Merck. Let's go with the Offensive Player of the Year. We have 2 guys who have been Offensive Player of the Year still in the league.
I'm going to go with Dan Lefevre. You want to put your money on the for sure bet. He's going to have Central Michigan playing for a championship this season in the MAC.
Well, Tim Hiller beat out Dan Lefevre for this award, but I'm going to go with Dan Lefevre also. Defensive side of the ball, I'm going to stay in Central Michigan. Let's go with linebacker Nick Ballore.
That's a good pick. I'm going to go with Steven Jackson at Ohio, the free safety. I think this year he makes a quantum leap. He's going to get his hands on a lot more balls, and he's going to lead that defense in Ohio.
Newcomer,
I'm going to go with Steve Merck, tight end, Miami of Ohio. Why I picked him? When you rely on the running game, when the coach want to establish the run, what they're going to do, they're going to play good defense, they're going to run the ball, play action, a new quarterback's best friend, the tight end. This guy's a talented guy, 6'5", 230.
I'll go to Eastern Michigan linebacker Darius Mofet. Ron English has taught great linebackers to be in the NFL. Watch out for this guy, true freshman, best pro prospect.
I'm going to go with James Starks, running back, Buffalo, 6'2", 211, blazing speed. He can change direction, and he's the leader of that team. He might get 2,000 yards this year. I'm
going to go with linebacker Barry Church from Toledo. He's probably going to play safety in the NFL. Look out for this guy. He will be heading draft boards and rising. His stock will be rising this year.
Can't go wrong with MAC defensive players.
Dark horse, under the radar team, long shot. I think we agree on the same team.
I'm gonna go with Temple. I like Temple. Temple should have went to a bowl game last season. They lost a lot of games at the end of the game. They start off the season losing on a Hail Mary. But I think this year with that strong defense, they're gonna get it together. They're an underrated team, a sleeper team in the MAC.
Okay, maybe we don't agree. I'll go with Eastern Michigan. They're going to be better and improving. Look out for them to make a move this year.
I can see where you could pick Eastern Michigan. I like their offense. They just have to improve on defense, but that is a sleeper team as well, too.
Ron English in there. Now, let's go with our West Division pick.
Western Division, I'm going to go with Central Michigan. That's an easy pick for me. Consistency, Lefevre, those two guys, those two receivers on the outside, I like them to be back as division champions.
Lefevre, mobile quarterback, can get out of the pocket, can move. Antonio Brown, a difference maker. I'm going to agree with the Chippewas as the West Division champs. East Division champs.
East Division champs, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. Temple is going to win the East. I'm going to go with Temple. Don't, right down the turnpike here in Jersey. They're gonna do well. I think Temple's gonna win.
They've been recruiting well in the state of New Jersey and have been growing and growing. Al Golden in his 4th year. Think he has a defense. I also go with Temple. We like Central Michigan and Temple in the MAC title game. And that's Emery Hunt, the Zarda Playbook, and I'm Tyler Merkovich for Football Game Plan. For more in-depth analysis, visit footballgameplan.com/NCAA.